The rain was coming down in thick, relentless sheets as Luke locked the diner's back door for the night. With one hand gripping his umbrella and the other holding his daughter Emma's hand, he sighed heavily. Life had been anything but kind since his wife died 3 years ago. Between late shifts at the diner and raising a spirited 7-year-old on his own, exhaustion had become a familiar companion. As they turned the corner into the alley shortcut to their truck, Emma froze and pointed toward the dumpster. "Daddy, someone's there," she whispered. Luke squinted into the shadows and saw a small figure, curled tight, shivering beneath a torn hoodie. As he approached cautiously, the girl backed away like a frightened animal. Her eyes were wide, her face pale, and her clothes were soaked through. "Hey," Luke said gently, crouching down, "are you okay?" The girl's lips quivered, but no sound came out. Then suddenly, in a voice so soft it was nearly drowned by the rain, she whispered, "Don't let them take me." Luke blinked. "Who's trying to take you?" he asked, but the girl just shook her head violently and began to cry. Emma stepped forward and offered her own raincoat. "You can come with us," she said simply. Luke hesitated. This was dangerous, he didn't know who this child was or what kind of trouble followed her. But the girl looked no older than Emma, and leaving her out in this weather didn't sit right. He made a choice. "Come on," he said. "You can stay the night, just until we figure this out." The girl hesitated, then crept forward and grabbed his hand tightly. At home, Luke gave her a blanket and dry clothes. Emma insisted she sleep in her room. Over hot soup, the girl finally whispered her name, Lily. No last name. No mention of parents. She barely spoke another word. But the way she flinched at sudden sounds, how she froze when the doorbell rang, Luke knew something was very wrong. That night, as he peeked into the girl's room and saw Emma and Lily asleep, arms wrapped around each other, he quietly locked the front door and sat by the window, waiting for something, or someone, that he felt might still come for her. The next morning dawned cold and gray, but the storm had passed. Luke brewed a pot of coffee and stood at the window, still shaken by the night before. On the couch, Lily sat with a blanket wrapped tightly around her, staring silently at nothing while Emma played nearby, trying her best to get her new friend to smile. The girl hadn't said much since whispering those 7 words in the alley, "Don't let them take me." Luke had 100 questions swirling in his mind. Who was she? Why was no one looking for her? And who exactly was she running from? After dropping Emma off at school, Luke returned home and made a quiet call to the local police station, nothing formal, just a concerned inquiry about a missing child named Lily. But to his surprise, there were no recent reports matching her description. No Amber Alert. No runaway notices. It was like Lily didn't exist. When he asked her about her family, she clutched the blanket tighter. "They're not really my family," she whispered. "They said I was theirs now. Because of the money." Luke felt a chill slide down his spine. He sat beside her gently. "What do you mean, Lily? What money?" She looked down at her hands, refusing to meet his eyes. "My real grandma died. She left me something. After that, they came. They said they were my new parents, but they locked me in a big house. I couldn't go to school or go outside. I ran away." Luke swallowed hard. This wasn't just a child slipping through the cracks. This was something deeper, more dangerous. Someone was after her, not to protect her, but to control her. He wanted to go to the authorities, but Lily's terror at the mention of police was too raw to ignore. "They know everyone," she whispered. "They'll take me back." That night, Luke reinforced every lock in the house. He moved Lily's mattress into Emma's room and placed a baseball bat beside the door. For years he'd fought battles no one saw: grief, poverty, loneliness. But this was different. Someone had put their hands on a child. And Luke had decided, no one would hurt her again. No matter who they were. No matter what it cost. 2 days passed in tense silence. Lily began to talk a little more, though she still flinched at loud noises and froze when the doorbell rang. Emma had become her shadow, proudly showing her how to draw cats, braid hair, and roast marshmallows over the stove. But Luke couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming, something dark that Lily was too afraid to name. That feeling became reality the moment he saw the black SUV parked across the street. It had been there for nearly an hour, engine running. Luke watched from behind the curtain, heart hammering in his chest. When two sharply dressed individuals finally stepped out and approached his door, he felt his stomach twist. A man and woman in pressed suits stood on his porch. The woman smiled tightly. "Mr. Harrison. We're from Child Welfare Services. We're here for the girl staying with you, Lily." Luke didn't move. "Do you have ID?" he asked. They flashed badges too quickly for him to read. "We understand this is sudden," the man said, but Lily was removed from a temporary home. "She's been classified as a flight risk." Luke narrowed his eyes. "Then why isn't there a report about her? Why hasn't anyone contacted the police?" The man stiffened. "Sir, withholding a child from legal custody is a serious offense." Something snapped in Luke then. He stepped forward and blocked the door with his body. "You're not taking her unless you show me a court order and real credentials." The woman tried to force a sympathetic tone. "We don't want to involve law enforcement." "Too late," Luke growled, pulling out his phone. "They're already on the way." As he dialed 911, the two strangers turned, retreating quickly to the SUV. But by then, flashing lights were already rounding the corner. The SUV tried to escape but was intercepted by two cruisers. Officers found falsified IDs, burner phones, and surveillance photos of Luke's home inside the vehicle. The truth unraveled quickly. Lily had inherited a multi-million-dollar trust from her grandmother. The couple had been attempting to gain control of her assets through deception and intimidation. That night, as Lily wept in Luke's arms, he whispered, "No one's ever going to take you again." And for the first time since she arrived, she believed it. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of interviews, investigations, and courtroom hearings. Lily's story captured the hearts of thousands once it made national headlines, how a single dad with nothing more than a worn-down truck and a small apartment had risked everything to protect a girl he didn't even know. The two imposters were arrested on multiple charges, including fraud, kidnapping, and conspiracy. But even amid the media frenzy, Luke kept things simple. All he cared about was Lily's safety, and the quiet stability she finally seemed to find in their home. A lawyer from Lily's late grandmother's estate contacted Luke personally. The inheritance was real, millions placed in trust for Lily until she came of age. But there was something more. Her grandmother had included a clause allowing Lily to choose her own guardian under extraordinary circumstances. The courtroom was packed the day she was asked whom she wanted to live with. Dressed in a simple yellow dress Emma had helped her pick out, Lily stood before the judge, her voice steady for the first time. "I want to stay with Luke," she said. "He didn't know me, but he kept me safe. He believed me. He was the first one who did." Tears filled Luke's eyes as the gavel fell, granting him full custody. The moment was surreal. He had walked into that alley just a diner cook and a widowed father trying to make ends meet. He walked out a hero, a protector, and now, officially, Lily's dad. Life didn't suddenly get easier, but it got richer. Emma and Lily were inseparable, like sisters born of fate instead of blood. Lily began laughing again, sleeping soundly, drawing pictures of their little family with hearts around their names. Luke never expected a second chance at fatherhood, especially not like this. But every time Lily hugged him and whispered, "Dad," before bedtime, he knew he had been chosen for something far bigger than himself. Sometimes the most unexpected knock at your door isn't trouble, it's destiny in disguise. And for Luke, that rainy night outside the diner had been the start of something extraordinary. Not because he saved her, but because in many ways, she saved him too.